Hi, I'm Tenille Perry. I'm a hospitality consultant, and the most important part of my uniform is my smile.
Can you share why you chose your smile to be your object?
I chose a smile as my significant object because in the service industry, the main thing that we're selling is experiences. And experiences, the way you deliver that is through nonverbal communication. Smiling with your mouth, but also smizing with your eyes. And that's how you connect with your guests and deliver the experience that you want them to have.
For those unfamiliar, can you explain what a hospitality consultant does?
As a hospitality consultant, you focus on all aspects of the business because service does flow through every aspect of each industry. And one thing that I learned from a small little company, multi-million dollar company called the Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts, is that you should always focus on your external customers as well as your internal customers. So, what is an internal customer? Well, that's your staff, that's your employees. Those are the people that are delivering the service to our outside guests. And if they don't feel like they've come prepared to do that, then we can't expect them to deliver the service that we're not giving to them as well. So, one of the things I focus on in my programs is we focus on both external and the internal clients. And if you were to do my 3-day package, which is the VIP program, we take one full day where we work with the managers specifically and have them learn the importance of service so that they can model it to the internal clients. And it trickles down to our external clients.
What does a typical workday look like for you?
Well, I start my day by checking my emails and my voicemails because you want to make sure you get to clients as soon as you can. It's important to let clients feel like they're heard and let clients know that you value their time. So I always start there. I like to do my sales calls where I talk to people, and I call it a discovery call where we find out exactly what their needs are for their project. Each one of my packages are custom to each client's specific needs. So it takes time in the beginning to really find out what those needs are because sometimes the clients don't know exactly what they're looking for. They just know what the end result that they're looking for is, and it's my job to help them with that. I like to stay on top of trends in the industry, so I always make time in my day to do research and to learn what's happening in the industry and what's happening in every industry. Because in service, I don't just focus on the typical hospitality type businesses. I've worked with lawyers, I've worked with real estate firms, insurance firms, really hospitality and services through any industry. So it's important while I'm customizing the program to know a little bit about these industries. So as I'm speaking and as I'm training, it's relatable to my end audience.
How does your object aid in the everyday task in your industry?
You know, when I was 19 and I had my first job as a hostess, my boss said something to me that stuck with me my entire career. And I'm gonna pretend like 19 years old was just like last year, even though we know it's not. But he said that your uniform is always gonna be your smile because when you step out those doors, you step on stage. You are the actor in this scene. You are the one that's creating this experience for your guests. And you can't do that if they don't feel it. And you have to help them to feel it. And my object is very significant because it makes a difference when you smile. People feel it.
Can you share a memory attached to your object?
There was a time There was a time a few years ago when I was a food and beverage manager, and a we had a guest that came in all the time, and he always came for lunch, and he lived in the area, so he always came in. He said that he wanted the chicken. That's what he came in for, and we always made sure we had the chicken ready for him. But about 2 months later, he said to me, the reason why he actually comes back is because every time he comes, no matter what day he's been having, he knows he's going to be greeted with a smile, and it always makes him feel better. So That's when I realized how important it is and how it makes people feel.
When you are staying at a hotel, what are the things that impress you?
See, that's tricky because staying in a hotel, I notice everything. And I don't want to sound too cliche, but the service is really what makes the difference because I've stayed in really high end hotels with poor service and I said I'd never go back. And I've stayed in other hotels where maybe I've gone to a conference and it was very limited choice and I've had to stay in a hotel that I normally wouldn't have stayed in, but they were so welcoming and so warm and they took care of everything for me that I would absolutely go back. So the service it will make or break any industry, and that's exactly what I look for.
Last question. What is your advice for those wanting to level up their hospitality?
You got to start from within. You can't expect your staff to do what you're not doing and you're not delivering to them. If you want the end product to be client retention, possibly low turnover and growth, you've got to work on the corporate culture and it starts from within. It's very easy to say, hey, be like Chick-fil-A, which I hear a lot of my clients say, just be like Chick-fil-A. But what does that actually mean? No one knows what that actually means. And I'm not saying that customer empathy means that you have to spend umpteenth amount of time with clients because you do have a job to do. I understand that. But you can get to the heart of the matter and the hidden objectives of your client. And if you handle those issues, your clients will be much happier. And you do the same for your internal clients. To connect with me, reach out to me on my webpage at www.perrylaneconsulting.com. You can also reach out to me through Instagram and Facebook at Perry Lane Consulting. Make sure to subscribe to the Bold Maven newsletter to gain access to their digital magazine.